In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you by Campbell Bonding Company. Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
We'll start today's proceedings with 2016-97, State of Arkansas versus Brian Knight. Mr. Knight, have you made contact with an attorney?
No.
Okay. Are you planning to hire counsel?
Judge, he submitted an application to the public defender's office.
Oh, okay. Court will make the appointment of the public defender's office to represent Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight is for arraignment on charges of residential burglary, a Class B felony, theft of property, a Class B felony, possession of a firearm by certain person, a separate Class B felony, all charged as an habitual offender. The arrest date listed in the documents is March 17th. On those charges, how does Mr. Knight plead?
Not guilty, waive formal reading of the charge.
This case is on the Division III docket of Judge Putman. The court will set it for reappearance on April 22nd in front of Judge Putman. Anything else to come before the court?
No, Your Honor.
Judge, I'm going to give Mr. Russo, on behalf of Mr. Hancock, the discovery that we have completed so far in this case.
You may be excused, sir. We have 2016-98, State of Arkansas versus Corey Roberts. Mr. Roberts, have you made arrangements to be represented by an attorney? What is your intention? Are you planning to hire counsel, or are you seeking to apply to the public defender's office?
Public defender.
Okay. Have you filled out an application?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Russo, are you aware of a...
We were at the jail till last night, Judge, not aware of an application, or we had plenty of other...
When did you fill out your application?
About Sunday.
Last Sunday. Where do they go? This is not the first time we've had this situation. Well, make sure you fill out another one, and somehow it's got to get to the public defender's office so it can be brought in front of a judge, and the judge can sign off making the appointment. I know enough about Mr. Roberts' situation, having reviewed the probable cause affidavit, that the court is going to anticipate that we're going to be making the appointment if an application comes through. Mr. Roberts, you're charged with violation of an order of protection, a Class D felony, 2 counts, criminal trespass, a Class C misdemeanor, 2 counts. On those charges, how do you now plead?
Yes.
You're attempting to enter a plea of guilty?
Yeah.
Well, at this point in the process, the court's not going to accept a plea of guilty until you talk to an attorney. So I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your part, your behalf, and I'll put it down as a not guilty plea. This matter will be coming before the court. Let's see, what do we have here? I'm going to put you down to reappear on April 29th in front of this court. All right. Rest date is on one charge, one count is listed as March 10th, the other is on April 3rd. There are 2 counts. You may be excused, sir. In Boone County case 2015-167, State of Arkansas versus Daniel Hill. Mr. Hill, your case, let's see, you're in jail and appearing here today, having been arrested on an alias warrant issued by Judge Putman.
Your Honor, Mr. Hancock represents Mr. Hill. It's my understanding that the alias was issued and that as a result of his current incarceration, he's to reappear in front of Judge Putman on May 6th.
Well, the documents in the file it appears that on January 29th he did not appear, but the matter got continued from January 29th to February 12th. And again, when February 12th his case was called, apparently for a bench trial, he again did not appear. Alias warrant was issued, and the record reflects that he was arrested on this alias warrant on April 8th. Of Court will put him down for so he's now in custody. Was there a reason that the May date was put down for him to appear?
Because that was going to be the next court date for Judge Putman and Mr. Hancock.
I see. All right. May, let's see, May 6th. Court will put it down for reappearance. Notes his appearance in court, puts him down for reappearance in front of Judge Putman on May 6th.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Here's another satisfied client from Dental Creations of Harrison.
My husband and I both went through this together. We both had teeth that was causing health problems. Doctor wanted to come and talk to us about what we wanted, what our options were. We've gotten our final dentures. They feel as natural as our other teeth ever did. The best part is being able to smile again and not thinking, okay, I've got to hide this side of my face because that tooth's missing.
Dental Creations on the square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
Introducing two new families of ATVs from Yamaha, the all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700. The new Grizzly offers increased power and performance to deliver more exploration and more adventure. The new Kodiak 700 features legendary Yamaha reliability for more productivity and more value. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700 ATVs, all with more than ever before.
2015-147, 2015-191, 2015-238, State of Arkansas versus Stephen Miller.
Your Honor, Mr. Miller's case is we're on track with the scheduling order. We are coming up on a date of plea or plea rejection, and the prosecutor and I have had multiple discussions on Mr. Miller's case. The only thing I anticipate, Judge, is at least in this one case, we're scheduled for May 13th for that plea rejection. I may need to do a pretrial that day as well. I've got some boilerplate issues as far as motions in limine, things along those lines. And if we can't work out a plea deal between now and then, I anticipate some pretrial issues that are boilerplate that we'll probably need to take up that day.
All right.
Okay.
But we're still on track for going to trial during the week of May 16th?
We are, Your Honor.
All right. You may be excused, sir. 2012-29, State of Arkansas versus Chelsea Hoffman.
Your Honor, as I indicated to Mr. Carter and the court, I've been out of town. I've actually been out of state on some family matters, and I was not able to get the information to Mr. Geetson on Ms. Hoffman and on companion case, Mr. Summers, and I just asked the court to continue that to Wednesday. For drug court.
Okay. All right, we'll take it up on Wednesday, the 20th.
And Judge, Mr. Russo and I discussed handling this matter in drug court because it involves those type of issues, and I think it would be productive to do so.
All right. So Ms. Hoffman's scheduled to reappear in drug court on April 20th. You may be excused. 2012-157, State of Arkansas versus Joe Hudson. This is apparently a first appearance on a petition to revoke. The court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Hudson. Mr. Hudson, you're appearing on a petition to revoke your suspended sentence. The petition states that it's alleged that on July 9th of 2014 you committed the offense of failure to pay fines, court costs, that was reported by the Harrison Police Department. Another violation is alleged that you failed to report regularly to the scheduled office visits as directed. That report comes from September of 2014. In August of 2014, it was determined that you had left your approved residence and were no longer keeping your probation officer informed of your location. Back in July of 2014, you failed to keep your job. That is, it's reported that you were terminated at your job, and you failed to report this fact to your supervising officer. There were issues reported again in September of non-payment of restitution, fines, court costs, etc. All of those are allegations contained in the petition filed against you. This petition was filed
It was filed in September.
I see now, September of 2014. According to the file, you were arrested in April 4th of 2000. Dang it. I believe it's 2016. The warrant that was issued had a pre-printed date of 2014 on it, but the court appearance, every other marking on here indicates that becomes simply a misprint. So I'm going to interlineate and change that to 2016, as I believe that to be a misprint. So on those allegations that I've read off to you, how do you now plead?
Not true, Your Honor. I'd ask the court to consider the issue of bond. My client voluntarily surrendered himself, and in addition, at the time, he also paid $1,000 towards his fines and costs. And I'd ask the court to set a reasonable bond in light of his voluntary appearance and payment.
Judge, by looking at the file, it appears he's a 20-month absconder. That's number one. Number two, what the court has not mentioned is that he had a previous petition to revoke filed, and the state changed it to a contempt back in January of 2014. We would ask that he be held no bond, and the court set it for a hearing on May 6th in front of Judge Putman.
Page. The matter has to go before Judge Putman. I'll set it down for appearance before Judge Putman for hearing. May 6th. And Mr. Hancock's not going to be there next week? Is that what I understood from that earlier case?
Judge, I don't know for sure what his status is next week. All I know is, as far as that one case, Mr. Hills, it was specifically for the 6th. If Judge Putman does have court next week, I'd ask that Mr. Hudson reappear at the earliest available date.
That's what I was going to say. I'm setting him down to reappear on April 22nd.
He doesn't? Your Honor, my office staff is telling me that Judge Putman's just having civil next week. It's not going to be criminal.
Okay.
There's a few people who have been set, and because I went to the drug court conference, I am around on the 22nd on behalf of the state to deal with anyone who shows up or any 8.1s that we have to do. So it's not a total no court.
Well, just in terms of the length of time this case has been outstanding, I think if he's having court and the prosecutor's going to be there, I guess that means Mr. Hancock won't be there, though. That must be what it is. I'd really like to get him. Well, I guess we ought to set it down for, thinking about it, we ought to set it down for May 6th when it can become a contested matter, but I'd like to get I don't want issues that delay the hearing on that matter raised on May 6th. I mean, it would seem to me this matter could be disposed of by May 6th if someone would pick up the ball on it between now and then, and I just don't want Mr. Hancock or whoever waiting until May 6th to pick up the file and start working on the case. That's what I'm bothered by, is that's a long delay in a case that's been long delayed. At this point, the court's not going to set. Well, we don't have any bond set at this point.
There's no bond, Judge.
The way the court looks at it, it's an absconding situation, and one that, as Mr. Carter says, is 20 months long. Now, he may have turned himself in. I don't know what the circumstances there are, but this case has been, off paper for a long time, and it's because he didn't show up. And court's not going to set a bond. I'll leave it for him to reappear, for him to be there on May 6th. If he can be gotten before Judge Putman to set a bond between now and then, that's fine. I'd be more than happy to have that happen. But this isn't my case, and I'm going to leave it where it is on bond. What I would suggest is if the Public Defender's Office wanted to get him in front of Judge Putman on the 22nd, maybe the issue of bond could be set by the judge who's handling the case. But I'm leaving it as is until then. All right. You may be excused, sir.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
There are many ways to prepare for retirement, and how you plan for your retirement years takes solid planning. Community First Bank is here to help. With IRAs, CDs, money market accounts, and many other investment options, Community First Bank could hold the key to unlocking your financial future. Stop by and visit with one of our retirement specialists at one of our convenient locations, and let us help you decide which option is best for you. Community First Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Here's another satisfied client from Dental Creations of Harrison.
That several people complain about after a year it doesn't fit, it doesn't feel right. And it's because your mouth changes. And they offer the final set of dentures. And it's just like your own teeth. I eat corn on the cob, I eat steak, and Wanda and Dave and Tara was my personal person in there. They're awesome people in there.
Dental Creations on the square in Harrison, next to the Big Red Boot.
A Newton County matter listed on the pretrial list. This is 2015-46, State of Arkansas versus Clyde Wayne Sparks.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. This is down for pretrial this date.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Tyler Benson for the defendant. I entered my appearance in February. He was previously with the Public Defender's Office. We're set for pretrial today. Judge, after getting hired on this case and visiting with Clyde here, I'm putting the court on notice that I intend to raise the issue of mental disease or defect. I have him scheduled with a private examination for next Tuesday, the 19th. Judge, I was going to file the petition today, but then I realized we're not in Boone County, we're in Newton County, so I mailed it yesterday. I'm hoping to get it filed today, and I will submit a copy of it to the court. So I'm asking that these proceedings be suspended while we get Mr. Sparks evaluated.
Well, are you filing for a state evaluation?
Judge, I believe I am getting him evaluated privately, and then I anticipate that the prosecution will want him evaluated through the state hospital as well.
Well, I think that's what comes once you file the
yes,
motion.
Sir. Yes, sir. But I was informing the court that I guess this isn't a stall tactic, Judge. I had a private evaluation scheduled. It just took, you have to schedule them about a month out. So last month we scheduled one, and it is set for Tuesday. So I guess I was just notifying the court.
That's what the court's concerned about, is we're...
Your Honor, we being the state will prepare an order to have him evaluated at the state hospital. Obviously, it's up to the defendant and his counsel as to whether or not they want to provide the results to the state's evaluator. But obviously, those should be ready by the time the state appoints somebody to conduct an interview.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well,
And Judge, with respect to the court's time and calendar, again, I got on this case in February, immediately noticed this and contacted Richard back, and Tuesday, the 19th of April, was the quickest appointment. So we made that appointment well over 30 days ago, Judge.
I don't have any problem with that. It's just, if this was going to be the procedure, the motion should have been filed or at least a notice should have been given the state with respect to that was the defense, so that we could have, we've let 2 more months of speedy trial run on this case prior to to getting us here. So in any case, I see that you came in and I guess that speedy trial hasn't run because the delay in scheduling this has been at defense expense,
yes,
or
sir.
at least with an excluded period for speedy trial since February. So we'll but let's get the process started so that we can get past the evaluation stage, and if treatment is needed, then we'll go to treatment. If not, I'd like to get it back on. It's an old enough case. I'd like to get it back on a trial schedule.
Yes, Your Honor.
As promptly as possible.
Yes, Your Honor. For speedy trial purposes, the defense will take any time necessary, and I do apologize for the delay.
That's what filing the motion does, is it stops running a speedy trial, and that's why I'm a little bit frustrated by that. But all right, we'll. What I'm noting is that the issue of mental disease or defect has been raised, and there's going to, and so as of this time, the proceedings are running a speedy trial, and all proceedings are suspended, subject to getting the evaluation, both private and the state's evaluation, completed. We'll. I like to set a scheduling date just to make sure these cases don't get lost in the system. So what I'm going to do is as of today, the speedy trial is suspended, and I'll put it down for, I want to review it on June 3rd. It'll be in this courtroom. We'll have a hearing if he's available. We'll have a hearing on that date solely to determine the status of the evaluations and make sure everything's on track to move forward. If the reports are complete, all the better, but let's review it on that day.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Judge.
All right.
Judge,
You may be excused.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Sparks, you may be excused as well. 2016-64, State of Arkansas versus Butch Caudle. Mr. Caudle, you were scheduled for arraignment on or at least your case was called for arraignment on March 18th, and you did not appear because you had a separate direction to be here on this date. The court did not issue a warrant at that time, and so you're here today for arraignment. You're here for arraignment on charges of breaking or entering, theft, Class D felony, theft of property, Class A misdemeanor, criminal mischief in the first degree, separate Class A misdemeanor. On those charges, well, first of all, have you made any arrangements to be represented by an attorney?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
Okay. What are your plans?
Public defender.
Okay. It's up to you to take action, either to hire private counsel or to make application to the public defender's office. This young lady over here will provide you an application, and I want you to get that today, get it filled out and turned in today so that process can be moving forward. On the charges against you, how do you now plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
I'm noting your plea of not guilty. I'm noting that you're applying to the public defender's office at this time. Your case is on my court docket. I'm going to enter an order today setting this matter down for trial in October. I'm going to set it for pretrial by this written scheduling order for September 30th, and ordering you to reappear on August 5th. All of those dates will be in a written scheduling order. It's normally on a yellow sheet, but it looks just like this, and it'll be filed in the court file. This court file is a public record, so if you have any questions about, before you get counsel, about what your court dates are, all you have to do is go to the clerk's office and get the file out, and you can read yourself what your court dates are. Now, the better thing is to get yourself represented by counsel as soon as possible, and through the public defender's office, and then it'll be your responsibility to stay in touch with them. Don't just sit around and wait for things to happen, because you need to be in touch with your attorney. He can't prepare the case for you until he has a chance to sit down, and he or she has a chance to sit down and discuss the case with you. And you need to stay in touch with him, and it's your responsibility, because the attorneys in the public defender's office have plenty of people to represent, and they don't have time to come out and chase you down. So you get in touch with him and stay in touch with him. All right?
Okay.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. You're set for trial in October, and I want you to get on top of that. All right.
Judge, can we have a reappearance for the 29th just to make sure that an attorney is in place?
Sure, we'll do that. To make sure this process gets done, you need to reappear on April 29th. That's in 2 weeks. All right? You may be excused.
Crystal clear mountain streams, river rapids, and rolling hills with endless valleys. The beauty of the Ozarks we often take for granted. At Magnus Toyota, we never underestimate the value of our customers. As a third-generation family-owned business, Magnus Toyota has been operating here in the Ozarks for over 50 years. When we make a new deal, we make a new friend. Stop in and visit us today and see why our customers say we're the best. Magnus Toyota, your hometown Toyota dealer on Highway 65 North in Harrison.
Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
Introducing 2 new families of ATVs from Yamaha. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700. The new Grizzly offers increased power and performance to deliver more exploration and more adventure. The new Kodiak 700 features legendary Yamaha reliability for more productivity and more value. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700 ATVs, all with more than ever before.
2016-74, State of Arkansas versus Charles Bosch. Thank you, sir. Court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Bosch. Trying to see where we are in the process. Apparently, Mr. Bosch was in court on November 20th, 2015, but charges had not yet been filed. And he was ordered to reappear on December 4th. I'm going to go through here. After that, he'd already signed notice to appear for service of read-only warrant, which that happened in early November. But apparently he hadn't been back after appearing on the date and being ordered to appear on December 4th. He hadn't been back in court, and the warrant that was issued wasn't served until March 18th.
That's correct, Your Honor. My client was arrested on November 6th. We're calling the court's attention. He made multiple trips multiple times here, and it's my understanding that we were finally able to get an information filed. In fact, I believe the information was filed for record on March 24th. So my client's been diligent in appearing, and I believe at this point in time we're finally here for his arraignment. We would waive formal reading of the charge and enter a plea of not guilty.
The charges in this case are possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine, a Class D felony, possession of a controlled substance. This says Class A misdemeanor. I presume that means that he also allegedly had marijuana. The court will note a plea of not guilty on those charges. This is another case where an officer very diligently filled out the service of the warrant form reflecting the return, but didn't note it had a pre-printed 2015 date on it. It's quite clear from the stamps and other things that it was served on March 18th of 2016, but the return of the warrant reflects 2015 because that's pre-printed on it. And the officers need to pay attention and correct that so that we don't get into a situation. Once again, I'm confident that the pre-printed 2015 has become a clerical error now because they didn't correct it. But oops, sorry, Jimmy. Nice catch. All right. Mr. Bosch is downranged. Sheriff, these forms get sent out with the year pre-printed on them, and if it goes to a new year, this is one of those things that we all need to be a little bit careful of and make sure we don't reflect we served it back in March of 2015. 60. Yeah, I'm not being critical. It's a mistake we all make at times. I think we all ought to leave the year blank on the form. That would, and then whoever's filling it out will fill it in correctly. I'm confident. So, thank you. 2016-94, State of Arkansas versus Sarah Sherwood. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to move forward. I'm going to. That's what I want to like. What we're dealing with is when was the original arrest date?
November 6th, Judge.
Of 2015?
2015.
Okay. Well, then let's go ahead and I'll enter the standard scheduling order in Mr. Bosch's case October 31st will be the week of that will be the trial date. September 30th will be the pretrial. August 5th will be the reappearance date. All of those dates will be in a written scheduling order. And
you had another case that's not shown disposition of. You had an arrest somewhere between this one and your 346, but it doesn't show what happened in that case.
Mr. Bosch, if you'll get in and see your attorney and get him working on your case, your next appearance in court is August 5th.
Thank you.
You may be excused.
Introducing two new families of ATVs from Yamaha. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700. The new Grizzly offers increased power and performance to deliver more exploration and more adventure. The new Kodiak 700 features legendary Yamaha reliability for more productivity and more value. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700 ATVs, all with more than ever before.
When you practice your home fire drill, make sure you stay low under the smoke. Make sure you practice home fire drills with your family.
2016-94, State of Arkansas versus Sarah Sherwood. Here's one that the officer correctly changed the date, so it doesn't happen every time. So, Ms. Sherwood, you're before the court today for arraignment on a charge of theft of property, a Class D felony, and criminal trespass, a Class C misdemeanor. Have you made any arrangements to be represented by an attorney?
I filled out a form for a public defender.
Okay. You need to speak up so the court reporter can hear you. All right. But do you all have the...
I do, Judge.
Very good. Thank you. Public Defender's Office is appointed in this matter. As I stated earlier, she's for arraignment on charges of theft of property and criminal trespass. On those charges, how's the defendant now plead?
Wait for formal reading of the charge and then her plea of not guilty.
Thank you. This case is on the Division 4 docket. Court is setting it by written scheduling order. It appears the arrest date was on or about I'm not sure I've got it right. January 12th. Or certainly no later than January 21st. So setting it for trial October 31st, the week of October 31st. Pretrial is September 30th. Reappearance is August 5th. All of those dates will be in a written scheduling order filed in the case file. Is there anything else to take up at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Now, Ms. Sherwood, you stay in touch with your attorney and be back here on August 5th. That's the next time in court, all right? You may be excused. 2016-96, State of Arkansas versus Tony Jernigan. Mr. Jernigan, have you made arrangements to be represented by an attorney?
Yes, sir. I'll fill an application.
Thank you, sir. All right. Of course, making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. It's Tory Jernigan. I may have called you Troy. It's Tory Jernigan. The court is for arraignment on charges of theft by receiving, Class D felony, criminal mischief in the first degree, Class D felony, charged as an habitual offender on those charges. How does the defendant now plead?
Not guilty.
Plea of not guilty is noted. Case being on the Division 4 docket. Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, taken into custody on or about the 12th of January, the best I can tell. Setting it for trial the week of March 31st, pre-trial September 30th, and reappearance will be ordered August 5th. That will be a written scheduling order will be entered to that effect, and that will be the order of the court. Once again, you need to make contact with your public defender, communicate with them. He can't help you unless you provide information to assist him in determining what your defense should be, and he shouldn't have to track you down. I think you've been in the system enough to know that. So be back here on August 5th, and in the meantime, stay in good communication with the public defender. All right? You may be excused. 2016-95, State of Arkansas versus Justin Bird. Justin Bird.
Yes, sir.
You got to look at me. Court is making the appointment of the Public Defender's Office in Mr. Byrd's case. He's for arraignment on charges of aggravated assault on a certified law enforcement officer, a Class D felony, terroristic threatening in the first degree, a Class D felony, and public intoxication. On those charges, how does Mr. Byrd plead?
Wait formal reading of the charge under a plea of not guilty.
His case is assigned to the Division III docket. And the court will order him to reappear on May 6th.
Judge, to avoid any delay, and I realize he'll be represented by Mr. Hancock, but I'm going to give Mr. Russo on behalf of the defendant the discovery the state has compiled to this point.
Mr. Byrd, it's up to you to stay in touch with your attorney. You're getting appointed counsel.
I appreciate that, sir.
And it's your responsibility to stay in touch with him. Don't make him come looking for you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
That'll be the order of the court. 2016-99, State of Arkansas versus Michael Shipley. Mr. Shipley's case this case, the arrest date in Mr. Shipley's case is March 14th, 2016. Mr. Shipley, have you made any arrangements to be represented by an attorney?
No, sir.
What are your plans?
I plan to arrange, this is the first time I've been up here, I plan to arrange for counsel.
Okay. Does that mean you're going to hire an attorney, or are you planning to apply for the public defender?
Apply for the public defender.
In Court on TKO8 Television is brought to you by Campbell Bonding Company. Even the best of us make mistakes, so when trouble finds you, trust Campbell Bonding Company to help you through what can be a confusing and sometimes frightening experience. Jim, Robert, and Cole Campbell work as a family to offer your family understanding and compassion during a very difficult time. Campbell Bonding Company can help get your family back together quickly and confidentially. And in every step of the process, they're there for you. In times of trouble, let their family help your family. Campbell Bonding Company, 870-741-1138.
When you practice your home fire drill, make sure you stay low under the smoke. Make sure you practice home fire drills with your family.